Hi everyone, it's Ian from DIY Home and Gardening. So it is an absolutely amazing afternoon, given the fact we're middle of February, but this morning started off as real heavy sort of mist, fog, ice, -2, and now look at it, absolutely amazing. So I've come out, try and get a bit of tidying up done in the garden, and one of the jobs that needs doing is this plant behind me, which is a Cornus Kousa, type of dogwood or dogwood family. So turn the camera around and we'll have a little look. Right, okay, so this is my Cornus Kousa. Translated, last part of it is White Dame. I'll show you the label. So Kousa Dame. So I got this from one of my Italian suppliers probably about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. So they are a flowering dogwood as opposed to the normal Cornus dogwoods with the nice coloured stems to them. And whilst they're classed as a flowering dogwood, they don't actually produce a flower. They produce what is called a bract, which is a modified leaf. And actually you can see an old leaf to it, and that actually is one of the old fruits, so they will produce an edible fruit as well. Cornus, easy to grow, generally slow to get going, and then once they've got going they do produce a fair amount of growth in 1 year. But in order to maintain your shape, you do need to do some pruning from time to time. Planting position, ideally full sun or a partial shade. Wants free draining soil but moisture retentive, and they do benefit from having an acidic feed, you know, just maybe once a year, but that's not a necessity. And so yeah, they do reward you with some amazing leaves that look like flowers, and then the fruit late into the autumn. And actually you can see, you know, all these buds here, well, they will be a flowering type bud or bract, and then the smaller types there, well, that would be a leaf. So it's quite easy when you come to do your pruning. Pruning needs to be done in the winter period, so ideally when the plant is dormant without leaf, and any time really from November through to March. And two occasions really where you could do it. You could either do it where you're going from that transition period, the October into November, or what I prefer to do is really go for the latter part of winter. And so February really for me, just before the buds start being produced, if you like, or breaking. But it also gives you an opportunity at this time of year to then determine whether you've had any dieback over the winter period. I can't really see too much dieback, to be honest. There's a little bit of signs of on the tips there where they've gone that very grey colour, so there's some minor dieback but nothing too significant. And again, really on the Cornus, they don't need a tremendous amount of pruning, so they come under what is deemed a pruning group 1, which essentially is little to no pruning, and really you're just looking to do some formative pruning and removing the dead, diseased, damaged stems that may appear from time to time. And then you're also looking to remove any crossing stems. So that is the main bit of pruning that you're dealing with. And then beyond that, you can then tackle any extra growth that you want to remove to maintain a shape. When we're talking shape, you can already kind of see, I know you can see my shadow quite readily, but you can see that they want to produce sort of this almost, well, goblet or dome-shaped goblet appearance almost, which is quite hard to describe, but you can see it does produce this splaying habit, and then it will naturally form this big dome. And the problem with it being allowed to form that big dome structure to the top is that actually you'll restrict the amount of light that you get to the base, which in turn means that those bottom leaves and stems won't have a job to do because they're not getting any light, so naturally they will shed leaf and die back on the stem because that's not needed, and you'll end up with a bare base and just top growth, which you can see to an extent here, where you have definitely a nice formation of what will be a flowering bud tighter growth habit. And indeed you can see where, you know, almost the pruning and then growth beyond that. So today's job, pruning this. So first off, as I say, you're looking for your dead, diseased and damaged stems. There's a little bit of wear there, but to be honest, I don't want to prune that out because that would be far too significant. You got elements of dieback within the fork of the branches, so you can either cut, make sure your secateurs are nice, sharp and clean, or if it will snap out, which generally these sections will do, snap them out. So we'll go through, look for any dieback, remove that, say dead, diseased, damaged stems, do your removal of those, and then you can then also look for any obvious crossing stems as well, which there shouldn't be too many, but you get the odd bit and you get like wayward growth there. So you can see there, I would look to remove that, as it's obviously come up and now it's going to be crossing back to get to this face, which is the light side, but actually you don't want that, so just whip that off. And that is almost the basics done. Following on from that, then looking to do your formative pruning. So ideally I want to encourage the plant to get a bit higher than it is, but I don't want it encroaching too much onto the guinea pig hutch. Guinea pigs are out today, well, down there, so I don't want it encroaching too much on the guinea pig hutch because it tends to get broken. Likewise, I don't want it so that it's going to be casting too much shadow from the top here, not to thicken up the base. So just do some pruning on that. And again, when you're looking, we got these top growths, which yes, you can see there's going to be some bract formation there, but it's quite elongated and not necessarily the look that I want. So for this purpose, I'm going to be removing about 18 inches. Just cut down to the centre there, which will encourage these to continue to grow afterwards, and that will maintain a slightly more balanced shape. So I'm just going to go around now and balance the plant up a little bit, again to maintain the goblet shape but a slightly higher level. Okay, so that is my pruning finished. As you can see, it just looks tidier, just keeping the open goblet or fan shape to it, and that comprises of the total amount of prunings that have come off. So these three are sections of dead, and the rest is just a bit of formative pruning, really to maintain the balance and the shape of the plant. And that's that's it, nothing else, and nothing else to be done until next year. Right, well, that is it. That's me done. Cornus pruned, nice and simple. Yeah, really doesn't need a lot at all. As I say, you remove your dead, diseased, dying stems, your middle crossing stems, and then do some basic formative pruning to maintain your shape. Job done. That said, if you do need any help, if you're unsure, then please send me a message and I'll always do my best to answer your question for you, help you out. If you like what I'm doing, then please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that reminder button so you don't miss out on future videos I'm doing. And I always say it, but now especially so, get outside, have some fun, enjoy yourself, and certainly whilst the sun is out, the birds are chirping, unwind, relax, and well, just be at one with nature. So till next time, bye for now, see you soon.